Welcome. Today, I am going to show you the one habit you need to be a successful entrepreneur, which is also the secret to staying consistent. We have been told many times that consistency is the key to success, but no one really tells you how to be consistent. They just say, do the same thing every single day. I get bored doing the same thing every day without reason, or even worse, I lose interest. A lot of people fail in business simply because they are never consistent with one thing for long enough to see it work out. Consistency is so hard. Almost no activity that grows a business pays you on the same day that you do it. The work you do this week can lead to income 3 months from now. I have found that developing the habit of measuring and tracking everything you do in your business is the easiest way to be consistent and to consistently do the right things. I record every activity every day, from income generating activities like my code calls to non-income generating activities that are critical to my performance, like how many hours I slept the night before. From the outside, it looks like a lot of work and it looks like I have a sad life, but once you have a system for it, it is easy to do. In this video, I am going to show you what I record, how I score it, and how to start this week with 3 things. You can run all of it in a notebook, so there's nothing for you to buy. At the end, you will know exactly what to track and which of the activities in your business are actually worth your time. As entrepreneurs, we love to chase, but we need to slow down. Before I tracked everything in my life and my business, I was busy every single day and I could not have told you which part of my business or what I did was making me money. All I knew was that I worked hard and I was struggling to make serious money. And with that financial pressure, nothing I did ever lasted long enough to pay me. For example, it is easy to try cold calling, get no meetings out of it, and decide it does not work for my business. You can post content for 6 weeks, get no clients, and go looking for the next thing. You can run ads, get 2 clients, and think you're wasting money. Then you move on to something else after that, and so on. Every one of those examples is a real strategy that works for real businesses. People, including myself, just drop them before they can get a chance to work. And every time you stop, you lose whatever momentum that you built. So the next thing starts from nothing and has even further to travel before it can show you any result, which makes that one easier to drop as well. Entrepreneurs think that they have a strategy problem, so they keep hunting for the better tactics because they think everyone doing well knows something that they do not. It took me years to understand that I had a consistency problem and that until I fixed it, no strategy was going to work for me or save my business. Why entrepreneurs stop trying? My consistency problem came down to one thing. On the day I did the work, nothing happened that told me it had counted. Think about going to the gym to lose weight or put on muscle. On any single day that you train, nothing measurable happens. You do not work out with your dream body, but you sweat while you're there, and the next morning your body aches a bit and your mind takes it as progress. So you keep turning up until the real result actually arrives physically months later. Your business gives you no obvious signal of daily progress. The work you do can be doing exactly what it is supposed to do, but there's still nothing exciting in the day to tell you so. You make 50 cold calls on a Tuesday, you get no booking, and the Tuesday ends exactly the way it started. You can see why losing interest in doing it again is so easy. The pain of rejection is not something you want to go through all over again. Once part of you has decided the thing is not working and will not work, you will find a reason to stop and you will believe that reason. So the work that you do has to pay you something on the day you do it. It cannot be the eventual result that is months away. It has to be something that tells you today counted. That something is a record of what you actually did, and it only works if you decide in advance what counts. If you told yourself you are going to grow the business, there's nothing there to score because it is so broad. If you decide that 50 cold calls is your daily target or even 50 rejections for that day, then by the end of each day, you either made them or you did not. And it does not depend on whether anybody actually booked. This is the important part. The win has to be something you control completely and you can improve on. So define the wins in your business and make it something you can only get by doing the work that actually matters. Then write it down. Just keep a record of it. Research has shown that monitoring your progress towards a goal helps you reach it, and that the people who physically recorded what they did were measurable, more likely to get there than the people who kept track in their head. The effect was bigger again when at least one other person saw that record. Writing down your business activity shows you your daily win, even if nobody booked or signed up. You can still look at the record and see the payoff arriving on the day. And it's another step towards the money arriving. Start small. So what do you actually record in your business? Everything I track falls into 6 systems every business runs on: personal, sales, lead generation, content, marketing, and operations. Every activity I do belong into one of these categories. So nothing I do floats around unclassified, and I can see at a glance which part of my business I have been working on and which part I have not touched in weeks. I take my personal systems most seriously. I track my sleep, what I eat, how much water I drink, whether I move my body, and even what I learned that day. Sleep and water may look like they have nothing to do with your business until you remember that the other five systems all run through you. If I have not slept properly, my performance is affected. Things like the cold calls still get made, but they get made badly and make reaching your target number even harder. It is easy to make the mistake of trying to track all your six systems from the first day. Please do not do that. Start with no more than three things and make them three things that genuinely matter to you and the business, because tracking something you do not really care about is just tracking for the sake of tracking it. My first few activities ever were all about maximizing my income generation. I slept at the same time every single night and I woke up at the same time every morning, so my working hours were always consistent. And I made sure all my working hours went to the work that actually grew the business by recording the amount of income generating and non-income generating activities I was doing. That was the whole system for a long while. Everything else I track now was added over years, one thing at a time, and each one had to earn its place. Once you've been recording for a while, the list gets long, and a long list on its own does not tell you how you're doing. So I turned mine into a single score called my business health score, and two rules are what make that score mean anything. To make sure what I do always matters, my activities are not worth the same. So the work that brings in money is weighted the heaviest and prioritized. A day of customer meetings and selling is not the same as a day of admin. The other rule is that the score is always decaying regardless of whether I work or not. And the only thing that stops the decay is activity. I ran all of this on a spreadsheet for years and it worked. It also got heavy. So I built an app called Aseyi solely for my own use. And then my clients started asking for it and I later made it public. You can download it on iOS, but I will explain the app more later. You find out what each activity is worth to you. What keeps me tracking my activities now is knowing the direct impact on my revenue performance. I know what every activity in my business is actually worth. I know which of the things I do bring money in, roughly how long each one takes to pay, and which one of the things I had prioritized were doing nothing at all apart from making me busy. This is why my days are simple now. Take this Tuesday just gone. I woke up already knowing the day was lead generation from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. and that the specific lead generation activity was cold calling independent dental practices. One task, contact as many cold calls as I could until I had 30 rejections. I did not sit there deciding whether it was the right thing to be doing because the record had already told me it was, and cold calling is the job in my business that is easiest not to do. Some days I cannot work at the same level. I have sickle cell, so my body decides my energy ceiling on any given day, and there's nothing I can do about that. On those days, the activity still happens, but at a lower level than I would like. If it's a cold calling day, I still make calls, just fewer of them on that day. Good enough still counts, and it keeps the momentum going on the days it is easy to do nothing. And some days I do nothing at all directly for the business, especially when my health does not permit it. I skip the same as everyone else. When I do, the only thing that matters is getting back on it the day I am well enough to do so. I ensure I do not lose momentum. I track my personal systems even more, and the things that will make sure I recover quicker becomes the benchmark. There is research that backs up getting straight back onto it. A group of researchers followed people building a new daily habit over 12 weeks, and missing a single day did no lasting damage to the habit at all. Going a whole week without it is a different matter. So one missed day is survivable. A missed month is how you end up back where you started. The habit I am keeping alive is tracking, as that ensures consistency in everything I do. Here's the bottom line. So the one habit you need to be a successful entrepreneur is to measure and track everything you do in your business so you consistently do the things that matter. Everything I have shown you comes back to one thing. Most of the work that grows a business will not pay you on the day that you do it, so you need something else that will. The record is a temporary payment and it tells you the day counted before the money eventually tells you. So start with three things that genuinely matter to you and your business. Quantify what a win looks like. Write down what you did, add to them slowly over time, and only when a new one earns its place. And when you skip, get back on it as soon as you're able to. Do that and you stop waiting to feel motivated and you stop hunting for the better strategy for your business, because you will finally be consistent long enough for the strategy that you already have to work. Everybody tells you that consistency is the key, but you will not stay consistent at something that you cannot see. Measure everything. That is how you actually stay consistent. I mentioned earlier that I built an app called Aseyi. It is an AI business coach that does everything I have just described without the spreadsheet. You log your activities, it sorts them out into 6 systems, it handles the weighting and the decay for you, and it gives you your business health score so you can see at a glance which part of your business is working and which part needs more attention. It also tells you the single most important thing to work on next. It is free to start on iOS, so go and download Aseyi and have a look. Thank you for sticking with me to the end. If this was useful, please subscribe because there is more of this coming. Give it a like so it reaches more people, and tell me the 3 things you're going to start tracking this week. See you on the next one.